Forget the natural talent myth. You know that incredible athlete, that brilliant artist, that tech genius? What if their extraordinary ability isn't a gift from birth, but a meticulously constructed achievement? We're pulling back the curtain on the talent versus obsession debate, exploring the hard science that proves genius isn't just born, it's built. Get ready to rethink everything you thought you knew about what makes someone truly brilliant. You've seen them. The viral clips of a 5-year-old playing a complex piano piece, or a young athlete performing feats that seem physically impossible for their age. Our first thought is often, wow, they were born with it. We label it natural talent, a divine gift bestowed upon a lucky few. This idea goes way back, with ancient cultures viewing genius as a touch from the gods, and later as a simple matter of good genes. But is this really innate, or are we missing something deeper? Today, we're diving into that exact question. Are extraordinary individuals born gifted, or are they built brilliant? The answer might just change how you see your own potential. So, what if the brain isn't a fixed organ, but a dynamic, ever-changing landscape? This is the core idea behind neuroplasticity, and it's a total game-changer. For decades, we thought our brains were set in stone after childhood. But we now know that's not true. Every time you learn something new, practice a skill, or even have a new thought, you are physically rewiring your brain. Think of it like a forest. At first, there's no path. But the more you walk the same route, the more defined that path becomes, making it easier and faster to travel. Your brain works the same way. The real key to carving these superhighways in our minds isn't just repetition. It's something called deliberate practice. So what is deliberate practice? It's not just mindlessly shooting a basketball for an hour. It's practice with a purpose. It has 3 key ingredients: specific goals, immediate feedback, and constantly pushing just beyond your comfort zone. Imagine a chess grandmaster. They don't just play endless games. They spend hours analyzing specific moves, studying past mistakes, and working with a coach who points out weaknesses they can't see themselves. Or think of a world-class surgeon. They don't just perform routine operations. They practice complex, rare procedures on simulators, receiving instant feedback on their precision and technique, pushing their skills to the absolute limit. This process has a profound effect on our brains, right down to the microscopic level. Every time you engage in this focused effort, your brain cells wrap the connections between them in a fatty substance called myelin. This is called myelination. The thicker the myelin sheath, the faster and more efficiently electrical signals can travel along that neural pathway. It's like upgrading a slow, winding country road into a multi-lane fiber-optic superhighway. This is how actions that once felt clunky and difficult become second nature and lightning fast. It's not magic. It's biology. It's the physical evidence of hard work, literally reshaping your brain, building the hardware for brilliance, one focused repetition at a time. Now, you've probably heard of the 10,000-hour rule, made famous by Malcolm Gladwell. The idea is that it takes about 10,000 hours of practice to achieve mastery in any field. But this has become one of the most misunderstood concepts in popular science. It's not just about putting in the time. 10,000 hours of mindlessly strumming a guitar won't make you a virtuoso. It's about the quality of those hours. Were they hours of deliberate practice focused on improving specific weaknesses? Or were they just hours of coasting in your comfort zone? The rule was never about the magic number. It was about the immense volume of high-quality, focused effort that mastery requires. So, why do some people seem to reach that mastery level faster than others? This is where the story gets more nuanced. Often, these so-called prodigies had a head start we didn't see. They might have had early exposure to a skill, like a child of professional musicians who hears music constantly from birth. They might have had access to superior coaching and resources that accelerated their learning curve. And most importantly, they often possess an unparalleled level of dedication. This obsession, this genuine passion for their craft, is what fuels the thousands of hours of deliberate practice needed. It's the engine that drives them to keep going when others would quit. It's the difference between just practicing and being completely consumed by the desire to improve. The secret to building brilliance goes beyond just what's happening inside your skull. Our environment and our mindset play a massive role. This brings us to the groundbreaking work of psychologist Carol Dweck on growth mindset versus fixed mindset. If you have a fixed mindset, you believe your abilities are innate and unchangeable. You're either good at something or you're not. When you face a challenge, you see it as a verdict on your talent, and you're more likely to give up to avoid failure. But if you have a growth mindset, you believe your abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. Challenges aren't threats, they're opportunities to learn and grow. This single belief changes everything. It fuels resilience, encourages effort, and makes the grueling process of deliberate practice feel worthwhile. Furthermore, no one builds brilliance in a vacuum. The environment you're in can either supercharge your growth or hold you back. Access to resources, like quality instruments, labs, or training facilities, makes a huge difference. Being part of a supportive community that shares your passion provides motivation and a sense of belonging. And perhaps most importantly, having a mentor, an expert guide who can show you the path, provide critical feedback, and push you in the right direction can dramatically shorten the journey to mastery. These external factors can be so powerful that they often override any initial differences in so-called talent. A moderately talented person with a great mentor and a growth mindset will almost always outperform a gifted person with a fixed mindset and no support system. So, let's bring it all together. What if the real advantage isn't being born gifted, but having what we might call the obsession advantage? True genius isn't about being handed a special brain at birth. It's about cultivating an unrelenting, passionate drive that fuels thousands of hours of deliberate, focused effort. Think about athletes who weren't considered top prospects, but outworked everyone to become legends. Think about scientists who spent decades pursuing a single question, facing failure after failure, driven by sheer curiosity and dedication. Their stories aren't tales of innate talent, they are epics of obsession. They didn't wait for a gift, they built their brilliance, brick by brick, through sheer force of will. Talent might be a starting point. It might give you a slight head start in a race. But brilliance, true mastery, is the destination. And that destination is not reserved for a chosen few. It's the inevitable outcome of obsessive, deliberate effort, a growth mindset, and a supportive environment. Think about some of the most brilliant minds in history. Leonardo da Vinci, for example. We see him as this genius painter, inventor, and scientist, but he was utterly obsessed. His notebooks are filled with thousands of pages of sketches, ideas, and observations. He wasn't just talented, he was relentlessly curious. He would spend hours, even days, just watching birds fly to understand the mechanics of flight, or dissecting bodies to master human anatomy for his art. Imagine the drive it takes to do that. It's a hunger for knowledge that never stops. For him, every single detail of the world was a puzzle he had to solve. It wasn't just a hobby, it was his entire reality. Or take a more modern example, someone like Michael Jordan. Sure, he was born with incredible athletic ability, but lots of people are. What made him MJ was his obsession with winning. Teammates tell stories about him practicing shots long after everyone else had gone home, pushing himself and everyone around him to a level of perfection that was almost painful. He didn't just want to win, he needed to. Every loss wasn't just a setback, it was a personal failure that he would analyze obsessively until he could conquer it. That's not just talent, that's a borderline maniacal dedication. So, what's going on in the minds of these people? It's a single-minded focus that drowns out everything else. While we're scrolling through our phones or deciding what to watch on TV, they're in their own world, replaying a single chess move, rewriting a single line of code, or perfecting a single brushstroke. It's a state where the work itself becomes more rewarding than anything else, more than sleep, more than food, more than socializing. They're not just chasing success, they're completely captivated by the process. So maybe the debate isn't really talent versus obsession. Maybe talent is just the spark, but obsession is the gasoline you pour on it to create an inferno of brilliance. It's what transforms a gifted person into a historical icon. What do you think? Is obsession the real key? What seemingly impossible skill are you ready to build? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more.